Hey guys, welcome back to our channel today. So today I'm just going to be showing you this look right here. This is my festival inspired makeup tutorial. This one was really easy. We're just working with some bright colors and just some gems, so it's super easy to recreate. So I hope you guys do enjoy this video. So starting it off, my lids have already been primed, but I did choose to go in with Peach Smoothie by Makeup Geek just to set any of that eye primer, just to ensure that any shadows that go on top of that are going to go on very nice and smooth. And also because this shadow is very close to my skin tone, I decided to use it as my transition shade for the look, which was perfect. So using the Smashbox Covershot eyeshadow palette, this is their bold one. Starting off with that blue, we're going to go in and kind of focus this on the outer half of our eye. This is the only blue eyeshadow we're going to be using to get that blue look. So you definitely want to take your time and blend it out. So first I started blending it out within the outer half, and then I started focusing it more in my upper crease and kind of winged it out just a tad bit. Again, you really want to take your time blending. So you can definitely use a few different brushes for this. For this, I definitely did go in with a fluffy blending brush here just to ensure that it's all blended out together. There's no really harsh lines or harsh edges. Then I went in with a pencil brush to focus majority of the shadow in the outer V to definitely build up that color and intensity. Then I went in with the original first brush that we used and just kind of blended that out further. Again, blending is the key to this look. Next up, we're going to be taking Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Peach Eyeshadow and placing that on the lid with a flat shader brush and kind of blending that in with the blue with the shader brush, and then going in with that first blending brush that we originally used to blend the whole look together. Next up, we're just going to be eyelining the eyes. So I like to just tight line for this look, just with the Colourpop black eyeliner, and just quickly tight lining, then prepping my lashes for falsies with just some mascara. And then we're going to actually go in with the falsies. These falsies are the Sephora Collections number 30. The style is called Flirty. These are definitely one of my favorite lashes just because I feel like they do really open up the eyes and they don't look too intense for any eye look. And especially for this look, I did really want you to see the shadow through the lashes as well. So I felt like these ones were very nice and they're very appropriate for the spring and summer. Next up, we're going to be moving on into the face. So for the face, I decided to use the Makeup Forever Step 1 Smoothing Primer just because I did really want my skin to look nice and smooth. And I knew this would definitely do the job right. So I chose to use this primer. So we're just going to be taking it and rubbing it / patting it all over into our face. So for this, I like to pat it in my nose and in my cheeks and then rub it the rest of the way just because my nose and my cheeks is where I have the most pores. Next up for foundation, we're going to be using the Estée Lauder Double Wear Foundation. I know this foundation is a full coverage foundation, but I chose to use it for this look just because I knew it will last all day, and especially when you are going to a music festival, that's something that you want. You do want your makeup to last all day. You don't want to have to worry about touching it up or anything, so I did choose to use this, and I knew it will cover a lot of if I had any blemishes or anything. So that's what I use this foundation for. And plus with the beauty blender, it can sheer it out a little bit. And this one, a little does go a long way. So you definitely don't need that much to cover up the face. So it can be very lightweight for your skin. And again, the damp beauty blender is just definitely the number one thing to blend out your foundation, which is why I use it. Next up, we're going to be going into our highlighting and concealing stage. So for this, I like to use the Sephora Collections Bright Future Gel Serum Concealer. And for this, I did really want my under eyes to look really awake, and I did really want it to be very bright. So I did choose to take this down a little lower than I normally choose to take down my concealer, but that's just because I wanted my eyes to look a little bit more awake. And I did continue on with the rest of my highlighting routine, which is just the bridge of the nose, the forehead, and then the chin. I also chose to take this up a little higher on the eyes just because I do want to put some gems there, so I really want it to be bright there as well. And then I'm just going to be blending that out with the beauty blender. I feel like the damp beauty blender really just melts the concealer into your skin so that it looks very natural and everything. And it doesn't look too intense, but still gives you that really bright, awake look, which is definitely why I love using this. And I also want to set my under eyes right away, so I just want to pat that in, make sure that they haven't settled into fine lines or creases, and then grab a brightening powder. So I use the Bésame brightening powder and just set that under my eyes with my Real Techniques contour brush, which is definitely the best drugstore brush to set underneath your eyes. It's definitely one of my favorites. And then I did decide to do a little bit of bronzing, so I decided to use a liquid bronzer. This is one I got in my BoxyCharm a few months ago, and it's really great. So I just decided to bring that wherever I would put bronzer. So on my cheeks, and I did a little bit on my forehead as well, just to kind of bronze up the skin a little bit, and I am going in with a powder bronzer as well. Next, I decided to set my whole face. So for today, I decided to use the RCMA No Color Powder, just because this has no flashbacks, which is great considering that music festivals can go on into the night, and you probably want to get some good photos, and you don't want to have to worry about flashbacks. So that's why I chose this one. And then we're going to be going on into our brows. So for our brows, I chose to use the brow pomade by Benefit Cosmetics, and using my Kiss makeup eyeshadow brush to just kind of apply the product. So first I'm just going to brush out my brows to ensure there's no product or anything in there, and then I'm just going to start placing the product. So for my brows, I do really like to kind of like outline my brows and then slowly work my way into filling any sparse areas or anything that I feel needs to be filled. And then you just want to continue to blend your eyebrows by brushing the product through, just to make sure it doesn't look too harsh or anything. And especially for me, I do like a bolder brow, so that's why I kind of like using the pomade rather than a pencil. And then I am going to be setting my brows with the Benefit Ready Set Brow Gel, just because this is my all-time favorite brow gel. It literally like glues your eyebrows down. Next, we're going to be taking our bronzer. So this is the Rimmel London Natural Bronzer, and just taking that on our Morphe E4 and just kind of bronzing up the skin. Pretty much wherever we place that liquid bronzer, we're just going to go over with a light hand of the actual bronzer that we're going in with, which is a Rimmel London Natural Bronzer. Then we're going to move on into blush. So for blush day, I chose to use Milani's Cosmetics Luminoso blush, just because it's so nice on the skin. It just kind of gives it that healthy glow, which is exactly what we want, and it will give the skin a little bit of life as well. And then I decided to finish up the lower lash line. So I decided to tightline my waterline with the LA Girl brown eyeliner in medium brown, and then I went in with the blue eyeshadow again with a pencil brush and just kind of smoked that out throughout the lower lash line. And I did decide to bring it in all the way into the inner corner just to kind of complete the look, and just because I didn't want to add any peach or anything to the lower lash line, so I decided to bring that all the way in. Now we're going to get into the gemstones. So these are holographic gemstones that I got from Michaels, and they were super affordable, so I just decided to put a few in the inner corner. I believe I put 3 in the inner corner and just kind of placed them in a triangle, and then I did 3 on the outer corner as well, kind of lining them up towards like a wing or something if you did want to do a wing. So that's what I did with the gemstones. I just used some eyelash glue just to keep them on my face, because I knew the eyelash glue would stay all day and it wouldn't irritate my skin or anything. And especially with the gems being a little heavier, I decided to use that. Next, we're going to move on into highlighting. So for highlighting today, I decided to use the Nicole Guerriero's Glow Kit by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and taking that shade Forever Lit on my Real Techniques setting brush and just kind of highlighting the tops of my cheekbones with that look, and also going to highlight my Cupid's bow and the bridge of my nose as well, and kind of bring a little bit on my Cupid's bow and the chin and the forehead, just so that wherever you turn you will give a slight glow, which is beautiful. And then just because I wanted the highlight to set a little bit more, I decided to go over it with my beauty blender that had a little bit of foundation, just so I can push that into the skin. I also chose to do a little bit of faux freckles for this, so I decided to use my Colourpop brow pencil. Just kind of drop it on the skin and twist it around real quick just to give me the faux freckle look. And then after that, I did lightly tap that in with a little bit of excess foundation that was on my beauty blender, just to make it look a little bit more natural and everything, just so that they didn't look like drawn on freckles. Next, we're going to move on into lips. I wanted to go for a metallic lip look, but the metallic lip that I had didn't really go with the look. So I did decide to go with the Balm Cosmetics liquid lipstick in Committed. This is definitely one of my favorite formulas. It's not drying at all on my skin. It's a beautiful color, and the smell is great. It smells like peppermint, and it's just a great liquid lipstick that I know will not bother me if I wear it all day, because it's not super drying or anything. And I felt it did really flow with this look, which was very important. And then after that, I decided to set the rest of my face with setting spray. So this is the White Charcoal Mattifying Setting Spray. I just did a few spritz on my face and just kind of let that all set my foundation. and everything else and take away any of that excess powder that I may have had on my face. And then I decided to go in back again with that Forever Lit by Nicole Guerriero and Anastasia Beverly Hills, just to kind of brighten that highlight and make it more known because it's on a wet surface now. And I just really wanted to make that look a bit more highlighted. So that's the look for you guys. So I hope you guys did enjoy. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe.